As we start, I'm going to read a section to you. Now it's time to take a closer look at the actual opening of the seven seals. But first, some background. We've already seen that the main message of Revelation is about what Christians were going through at the time, being imprisoned and killed by Satan, who was working through the Roman Empire. To encourage them, God gives John a vision, showing them that their struggle on earth is part of a much bigger war happening in the heavenly realm. Satan's attacks on Christians weren't random. His goal was to discredit God's worthiness to rule from the throne in heaven. He wanted to destroy God's reputation so he could take the throne for himself. We also notice strong connections between chapters 5 and chapter 12. The first half of chapter 12 presented the same cosmic crisis, battle and defeat of Satan in the heavenly throne room as described in chapter 5. Both chapters unveil Christ's victory and the unmasking of Satan before the heavenly court. However, the second half of chapter 12 then shifts the focus to the ongoing battle on earth after Satan has been cast down and out of heaven. We didn't read about Satan being cast out in chapter 5 and on earth. Why? Because this is what chapter 6 is about. As Jesus removes the seven seals, we will read of Satan's activity on earth after his defeat and being booted out of heaven. This means that chapter 6 is parallel to the second half of chapter 12. This means that we can expect to find a similar story unfold between chapter 6 and the second half of chapter 12. So let me put it simply. Chapter 5 and the first half of chapter 12 both describe Jesus' victory over Satan by being slaughtered by him. Chapter 6, where Jesus actually opens up the seals after his victory, parallels the second half of chapter 12, which then shows Satan's continued attacks on earth after losing the battle in heaven. So now let's move into the seals. With that background in mind, we should expect to find parallels in this chapter 6 where he opens the seals with the second half of chapter 12, which describes satanic attack, which is exactly what we're going to see. So let's consider just a few highlights within the seals. We will see how Satan, within the seals, attacks the earth after being cast out of heaven. We will see that the supernatural destruction that hits the earth in the opening of the seals describes satanic attack and not divine retribution. Now, I want to slam dunk that. This is the main point of all my teachings. The Christian church as a whole has said that the seven seals, the seven trumpets and the seven plagues describe supernatural destruction from God. No, it does not. It talks about supernatural destruction from Satan. The church has got this upside down, inside out, and back to front, and God's got a bad name as a result. So let's have a look at the highlights within the seals, and we're going to ask the question. We know it's talking about a battle, a supernatural battle going on earth, but it's not God punishing humans. It's Satan, because he lost the war in heaven. He's peeved. He's ticked off. So now he wants to discredit God on earth by attacking them, and then the earth will say, God, you're doing this. And that's Satan's plan, to discredit the character of God. So let's have a look at the high points. Revelation 6, 3 and 4, English Standard Version. When we read this, saying, is this God or is this the devil? We better get this right. Otherwise, we've got God hammering people on planet Earth when he goes completely against everything we've read in the book. He's a peaceful God. He gets slaughtered by the devil. He reigns under a rainbow. He shares his rule. Why would it all of a sudden now he's angry? It doesn't fit. That's just not correct. Revelation 6, 3 and 4, English Standard Version. when the slain lamb, the slain lamb, opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, "Come!" And out came another horse. What colour? Bright red. Remember that? Its rider, on the red horse, was permitted to take away peace from the earth. Does that sound like God? On a red horse? Taking away peace from the earth? For what purpose? So that people should slay one another. And he was given a great sword. Is this God? Or is it the devil? He's a rider on a red horse, takes away peace, global slaying of one another. Folks, what have we read so far in chapters 4 and 5? Who is the violent one? It's the devil. And God allows the devil to slay and slaughter his son. This is carrying on the same story. Instead of slaughtering the lamb, which he has done, he's now slaughtering people on planet Earth, which is exactly what we've read in the second half of chapter 12. This is not describing divine retribution. This is describing demonic, satanic retaliation and attack because he's been exposed. But let's get into the details. First of all, we read that it's a red horse. Red. And it kills. The word red appears twice in the book of Revelation, and both appear to Satan and his demonic armies. And both will be read in the context of killing. We're not left in the dark. Revelation 12:3. We know that the dragon is the devil. We've read this already. Revelation 12:3, English Standard Version. Another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon. Oh, the word red is connected with the dragon, the devil, Satan, the deceiver, the ancient serpent. And as soon as he sees the red dragon, he tries to kill the baby Jesus. And that's verses 4 and 5. Red is connected with the devil as he attempts to kill. Here we've got a horse, red horse, with a rider who instigates killing. Not hard to understand, folks. This is not God. This is the devil in retaliation for having been exposed. Jesus gained the victory in chapter 5, and now he's retaliating in the war on planet Earth, which is what we read in chapter 12. Now you know why I went into depth in chapter 12 before coming here. It just makes it more accurate and just more simple to understand. All right. So the red is connected there with the devil who wants to kill. And here we've got red connected with someone who wants to kill. The baby Jesus, humanity. Revelation 9:17-19, we've got and then verses 10 and 11, we've got the word red connected again, but now with the armies on horses. Just like the rider on a red horse, here we've got riders on horses, and they too are red, and they are Satan's army. Revelation 9:17-19, New Living Translation. Listen carefully, and we will come back to this when we deal with the trumpets. In my vision, I saw horses. Horse, rider on a red horse. I saw horses. More than one now. It's his army. And the riders on a red horse. Horses, riders. And I saw horses and the riders sitting on them. The riders wore armor that was fiery red. Riders, red horses, plural, red. And guess what they're going to do? And dark blue and yellow. The horses had heads like lions, and smite and fire and smoke and burning sulfur billowed from their mouths. And 1/3 of all people on the earth were killed. That's just up to verse 18. That'll do. Red horses, riders killed human beings. This is what we've read in the second seal. Rider, red horse, human beings killing one another. And who was the one directing these riders on red horses? Look at verses 10 and 11, same chapter. Their leader is identified. And look what he does. Revelation 9, 10 and 11, New Living Translation. They had tails that stung like scorpions. These murderous beings. They had tails that stung like scorpions. And for 5 months they had the power to torment people. Their king is the angel from the bottomless pit. And his name in Hebrew is Abaddon and in Greek Apollyon, the destroyer. It's clear. The king, the destroyer, is the rider on a red horse that gives directions to riders on red horses. And they both kill and destroy human beings. In chapter 9, it's the demons of Satan, his army, that's killing. But in the seals, they're not literally killing. Human beings are killing one another. Satan is clearly in view in the seals. It is not God dumping on humanity. This is Satan, and he's angry. 12:12, he has great wrath. 12:13, 15, 17, all those verses, he's angry because he got lost the battle in heaven to discredit God. So now he's going to discredit God on earth. Because we're going to see later on in chapter 16 that when humans, prodded by the red devil and the red demons, to kill one another, get plagues. And the plagues are going to come from the devil and these people who are killing one another, destroying one another, will say, God did it. Boom. Satan's plan starting to unfold. More next time.